To map 2 we go. Chalet. After a decisive victory on Skyscraper, Netshoes Miners look to close out this series in 2 if they can. This, however, their opponent's map pick, and where Keed Academy might be looking to take this to 3. As we talked about already, Flynn, and I think many people in our audience are aware, we saw both of these maps played by both of these teams in their independent quarterfinals yesterday. But here in the semifinals, only one of them can move on to face Los in the next round.
Yeah, and I think for Netshoes Miners, this is another situation where you displayed a dominance on one side that is a little antithetical to the norm, which is that the attacking side was very good for Netshoes Miners on Skyscraper, both in their quarterfinal and now in their semifinal game. And for Netshoes Miners, the defense was actually winning a 5-1 half in their game against E1 yesterday on Chalet. Which again, you know, Chalet is more 50-50, maybe even slightly attacker-sided these days. And yet, a 5-1 half for Netshoes Miners on the defense yesterday. Starting on the attack, so even if things don't go too well to start things off here on Chalet, and we're looking like we're trending towards getting to Clubhouse, our map 3 for the second time of the day, they still have that one in the back pocket. But I think with how successful they were on the attacks on Skyscraper, just having a little more freedom here on a map like Chalet, this is a very, very tough position to be in if you're the Vivo Keedstars Academy. But like you said, they did play this map in their quarterfinal matchup, and they did win against Black Dragons on this map. So you can't take that away from them. It's just that demonstration of clearly a different level of performance on Skyscraper from Netshoes Miners. Certainly weighs heavy in my mind in terms of walking into map number 2 and trying to imagine who could come away with this series victory.
Setting up down below, we've got this Academy defense starting out. Barn Games, their site of choice. We know that Miners not only are capable of a bit more speed, but have a lineup that might favor that kind of a thing. You've got the Finca out here after all, the Lion as well, the Seto, those smokes, those fire arrows can be quite deadly in use in the right situation. But right now it is Hash, oh my, who gets a kill onto Baseto, uses a Kiba barrier to cover his escape, but chooses to swing back in and die anyway. But a good start regardless for Hash on the defense, something that he did so well on map number 1. He's looking to continue that with that aggression on map 2.
Frag Grenade's getting caught by the magnet there, and I think the really concerning point is that there goes the frag grenade. Only one magnet up for Gudo to play behind, so STK will reestablish a man advantage, jumping into library. There goes Midi as well, jumping Metrix, but Arthur with 2 from the top of blue stairs. The collapse comes in just a moment too late from Neskin. 1v2 now, but that diffuser, the point that I was going to make a very lot of kills on long ago, the diffuser was dropped inside of Mudroom. It was Baseto carrying it, so if anyone was able to spot that, if Hash was able to see that while dying, maybe there's a possibility for Flash to play around that here in the 1v2. Worried about a collapse coming in from the lobby, and he's constantly looking skyward. These last 2 attackers, though, for Netshoes Miners, separated. I believe it's Neskin topside, Levy outside the front door. The last EOD will hold the Frost in place as Flastry looking to aggress towards the blue stairs. He might have the intel of where the diffuser is. He drops Levy, and now waiting for the approach from Neskin topside. Using an Adrenal Surge, he is overhealed at the moment, dropping towards the lobby. And no, it'll be Flastry instead, taking the top control away from the Finca. There goes one frag grenade. Still got one in the pocket as well. Flastry looking down and towards bar. There goes Neskin recovering the diffuser from Mudroom. So now a tough position. It's Flastry with the advantage topside. The Finca still with one more Adrenal Surge to overheal herself. Neskin going to be pushing in towards the bomb site and getting a plant down. Flashing on 40 HP. Neskin's still up, but he's shotgunning in the correct location. But the shots, they come up through the floorboards. And Neskin, I don't even think even saw where Flashy was. Just shot at the shotgun hole and was able to collect. And that is Netshoes Miners winning the first round attack.
I mean, this is the beauty of this Miners team, and I think they've showed it to us all throughout map 1, and we're already seeing it here on round 1 of map 2. And they're just I mean, their sheer dedication to every single round and every single moment. And despite, being in some pretty awkward spots like that 1v1, certainly going to favor the defense in that situation. Winning it anyway. Losing the opening kill in that round. Winning it anyway. That's the kind of thing they've done so well, and that's why this keyed Academy, right, their conversion percentage on those entries and on those moments where they do have the advantage is lower than they'd like it to be, because it's not their mistakes necessarily. It's that Miners are just a really good team in those clutch moments like that. So again, that's well done for them, and that is a good start to map 2.
I think they're Hash gonna try and go for the roams like we saw in Skyscraper, try and get aggressive towards Trophy and play inside of Dining. They're gonna play with the hatchet open, so they're gonna need to maintain that first floor control. You can see Gudo as well on the Solus. He's gonna go for the jump any moment now, trying to grab anyone towards the helipad spawn. There goes the jump, goes flying out the window, but no one to engage with. So no opening picks that early into the round, and that Shoes Miners, you walk away safe and you have the information. Mitrix getting right into the game's double window. And the Vivo Keystars Academy just trying to put their face in any engagement possible across the entirety of the map. They're holding such an open plan here with so much roaming potential. This is a basement defense, but they're occupying all 3 floors.
CK hoping to alleviate some of that utility-based pressure on the IQ, but maybe some of the fragging pressure alleviated nicely. Now that Gudo's been taken off the board, again, there's this aggressiveness that Heat is showing us, and, it's had its moments, but it's also had moments like that, where Gudo tries to make a move, and Miners are sitting, waiting for it. As a result, Keystars are now going to back off a bit, knowing that they now have the disadvantage, and the manpower that they like to maintain here is starting to dwindle. When it comes to this eventual execute on this basement site, it will behoove them to have just as many bodies, as many guns up as they possibly can, but that's going to get ever more challenging as they keep getting picked apart. STK, a nice kill there, pinpointing the Mozzie's location and shutting him down quick.
That roaming potential just getting picked apart by Netshoes Miners on their clear, and like you said, very ready and waiting to deal. And that looked like it was a pre-placed Nitro Cell. Yeah, Flastry's Nitro Cell was pre-placed. Gets spotted by the IQs. Even less utility to be useful on the defensive side. Besetta will finally get the snowmobile wall open after contending with the extensive roam coming out from the Vivo Keystars Academy. Gonna be Hash trying to hold down blue, and there goes the Kaid to the bottom of the main stairs. Flashry tries to swing, but Neskin wins out once again. Certainly hitting his shot so far at 5-0. Hash debating going for the flank as the plant's going down. He's got pings in towards Bar, but he gets shot down and rejected, and it's a flawless round for Netshoes Miners. The flood into the bomb site. No one can fight back, and it's a quick 2-0 lead.
Quick 2-0, sitting real pretty right now in that second round. A lot cleaner than round number 1. Really never a doubt at who was going to take that one. And that's definitely why we're seeing this Vivo Keystars team take this time out, because this is when they really want to stop the bleeding before it gets out of hand. Right? They're not too bad right now. This is just 2 rounds. Today alone, we have seen so many 2-round leads completely dissipate in a matter of seconds. But here, with their backs against the wall, they know that this is a great time to try to regroup, right? This Academy team, we know they've got some reps now, and we know they've got a great organization with a lot of experience backing them here, but this is exactly when a coach is going to come in. You're going to hear the wise words from someone who's been watching from behind, that additional perspective to see if they can, get back on their feet here and jump into round number 3 with a bang.
Yeah, I think for this team, I think more of the deception and more of the laying in wait in terms of a roam is going to be much more valuable, because we've seen a few instances on Skyscraper and really to start off Chalet of Netshoes Miners in the attacks, skipping a couple steps when it comes to prerequisites, when it comes to droning, whether it comes to checking a corner or having a teammate nearby to be able to trade. There's a couple things in the checklist that kind of get omitted. They kind of get skipped on by in the effort to expedite things. And I think that's where Vivo Keystars Academy has the opportunity to take advantage. this aggressive, absolutely balls to the wall, put your face in every window, fly out of every window and door strategy. It has not worked because NetShoes miners are just going to sit on a rooftop, they're going to sit on an upside down rappel, and they're going to wait for it. And clearly, even in that position when they're sitting and waiting for those aggressions to come, they still had plenty of time to be able to execute onto the bomb site. The plant's going down with, I think, 45 to a minute left in the round. This is a perfect execute on the bomb site and a flawless round for NetShoes miners. So I think for the Keatstars here, maybe dialing down the aggression and more just trying to maintain as much map control and catch some of these NetShoes miners attackers off guard when they're clear.
C4 from perfectly timed, but it's actually the shot from Arthur that will do it onto Basetto instead. So well combined there, the pressure from both above and below. The trade, though, found. So miners not in too much trouble. They do have midi as well, the Selmas, as far as that hard breaching potential is concerned. So it's not like they've got all of their hard breaching taken care of, but this is certainly not going to be any easy feat to do what they'd like to do with the utility they have remaining. That garage wall, after all, still reinforced. And with only 2 Selmas, all of that pressure is probably going to have to come from the back. Keat Academy, they probably know this and can turn their attention towards the wine cellar side because of it. This is probably the best situation they've found themselves in at this point.
The SDK, though, not skipping any steps, spotting the Valkyrie cameras up in the rafters on the top floor, and it looked like there was at least one pre-placed Nitro. Mitrix, I think, actually got his Nitro back. I'm not sure what went on there. There were only 1 Nitro cell available on the defensive side, and now there's 2. Not quite sure what happened there. Mitrix, though, standing on top of the black box and connector, looking up through the connector hatch towards the lobby stairs, will drop midi. So you said that the ace was able to prolong his survival and live a little bit longer to keep the hard breach potential alive. Well, there he goes. Both the Thermite and the ace taken off the board. Frag grenades come flying in, and Gudo's going to have to win this engagement against a very hot Neskin so far on Chalet, pushing even forward. Neskin 6-0, has not died as of yet. The frag grenade goes soaring in and will down off Gudo. That's a lot of snowmobile control here for this NetShoes attack. They try and condense onto the bomb site. Hash taking damage. You can see all 3 defenders. They're stuck beside each other inside of Wine. The entirety of Snowmobile is in control of the attack, and now the plant going down from Levy. A good reaction there towards Connector, but no, the spray. Mitrix will drop SDK. It'll force Levy to come off the plant now, up against the bookshelf at the bottom of main stairs. Gonna bait out the peek from Connector, and I imagine he's gonna have to do it with a plant more than anything. The flashbang goes into Connector, and hitting the deck on the saw file, but there's goes Neskin from inside of Blue, removing the impediment from inside of Connector, and the plant being completed from Levy momentarily. He will stick this, and now it's a DMR and a spear that have rampaged this defense of the Vivo Keatstars Academy. And now Levy trying to take aim towards Connector, taking some damage on the escape, but Neskin inside of Blue in a very good position, absolutely refuses to be dropped, and the recovery from NetShoes miners to go up 3-0, absolutely beautiful.
I mean, you said it right there, Flynn. The recovery from miners. It's something they keep doing, and it just keeps getting better. After the timeout, Keat Academy, they bring out all the stops. I mean, they started off that round so well with that 1-for-1 trade. They continued it there with another, and in the 2v3, Neskin and Levy have to do it all, and they make it look easy. I mean, at that point, what are you supposed to do if you're this Keat Academy team? You've got one player, Neskin, who is 9-0 right now. That is ridiculous at this point. We are 3 rounds in and he is 9-0. How is that ever going to happen again? I mean, this is a roster that is clearly firing on all cylinders right now. We know they've got some weaknesses, but here on Chalet, we are seeing none of them.
This does not look in any way like the team that we saw on the group stage from NetShoes Miners. This, like CDAPS has said on the desk a couple times now, feels like an evolution, an overhaul of this team. Without any roster moves, it's inside the same stage, and yet just seems like an entirely new team. So heading topside now, trying to grab some kind of momentum here. The Vivo Keatstars Academy. Trying to get one round at the very least on the board just to try and stop the momentum. See, very deceptively here, it was a very quick skyscraper, and suddenly Chalet getting out of control means that Netshoes Miners are on the brink of not only certifying that they've won the first half on the attacking side, but heading to a defensive side that they were very strong on to close this out as a 2-0 and set themselves up with a date with Los tomorrow in the finals of the LCQ. And here comes the collapse in towards Trophy. SDK taking some damage, and Flastry actually will drop Neskin, so a man who seemed impervious will finally falter. He will be dropped from inside of Kitchen. Now the collapse is going to have to be re-attempted here from Netshoes Miners.
Good shot there from Levy to equalize. Again, every time the Keat Academy think they find an edge, feels like Miners bring it right back. At least Levy will do it in this round. Without Neskin, of course, this is going to be a bit more of a headache to get this one done. Nade from SDK will miss its mark, but at least opening up an angle to work with here and using that angle. Look at that, he finds Gudo, fearingly to go AFK a minute later, and he gets traded out. Not exactly sure what happened there, but he did get the 1-for-1 that he had been hunting for. Did shut down the Azami, but it is still going to be a 3v3, but early progress, a full minute 20 to work with. This is Miners still playing well. They just have to be careful about these angles from above. Mitrix nearly taking advantage of that one onto these players below. Throwing out some of these toxic smokes as well. But again, from all sides, Miners beginning to build this pressure.
This is a smart play. I think it's Hash inside a bathroom. He's not shooting the Selma, and actually, sorry, it's the mute of Arthur. Hash is giving him a bunch of OMI magnets. Now, Hash is actually going to rotate over to try and peek towards the bathroom window, but Basetto will claim Arthur's life. So not shooting the Selma doesn't pay off. His location eventually gets revealed. The flashbangs come pouring in from the big window repel, and Basetto getting the plant down the swing into the big window, and Mitrix will fall through the hatch, but it won't matter as he's bleeding out on the floor. Hash at least makes it a 1v2, but he's left on 1 HP, and there goes Basetto again. It's Netshoes Miners surrendering the first pick and yet still bouncing back to win their 4th round in a row.
Oh man. Keat Academy. Where did it go? Gonna have to find it again because this is slipping away very quickly from them on their own map pick. I mean, up top, they just could not piece it together. It was Miners again who just had it all going their way. The big difference there for both teams, I think, is that the trades were flowing a bit more freely. It didn't just happen in that opening engagement and then Miners run away with it. Academy put up definitely much more of a fight there towards the mid-round. If Mitrix had found that kill through the vertical holes above, maybe this round would have been different if, you know, one other swing had gone their way. We're talking about a completely different outcome, but it's still Miners who not only started that round out so well, but then used the control they had and the manpower they had so well. You don't often see a team with 2 or 3 bodies left take the time to rotate someone all the way around towards Piano or rotate someone all the way around and put them on that master rappel, right? All these important positions that you usually see staffed in a 4 or 5 man stack. Right, when you've got 2 bodies left, still putting in the work to make that happen, I think it just shows you that they have their priorities in order. They know what they need to do and how they need to get it done.
Oh, I feel like a broken record. Keat Stars Academy trying to find some traction instead of it being topside. They'll head to kitchen and dining. I believe now that is all 4 bomb sites being utilized through 5 rounds here for Vivo Keat Stars, and unfortunately unsuccessful through 4 rounds. See if the 4th bomb site is the answer. The drone comes topside. Basetto able to spot Gudo playing inside of Solar at the top of the stairs. He does have Hash for company, though. So again, trying to decimate and decipher this positioning topside for the attack from Netshoes Miners could prove problematic, but here come the Selmas onto the office wall. Flashry trying to trick it, but he gets dropped through the office balcony door. And the response, just not quick enough from Hash. He tries to lay waste through that balcony door in response. And now he is able to at least trade out STK and again try to bang through the wall towards the office balcony. And then he makes his entrance into office. Neskin hits the deck and drops Gudo. It's just Hash alone topside now for the VKS Academy as he tries to push his way into Master up against the wall that Neskin and Besetto were pushing up against. Now Midi opening up the wall and just missing the rotation. Mitrix, though, will drop Besetto from the solar repel. So now Hash has a friend on the solar stairs, but Neskin will drop Mitrix. So now again, Neskin alone upstairs, decimating the defense, and it's just Arthur alone.
It's Neskin with 12 kills right now, who's got his eyes set on a 13th. Arthur down below. Last player standing in the way between Miners and a 5th round. It'll be Levy to do it, but it will be 5 in a row for Netshoes Miners. My goodness. Talk about a one-sided map 2.
Like you said, you know, this is an instance where some of these rounds haven't been close. Some of them have. To give the Vivo Keydstars Academy the credit where it's due, some of these rounds have been very close, and they've been on a knife's edge, but it seems like Miners, they have that extra little edge in the end of the round to compose themselves, even when things look like they're stacked against them. And unfortunately for the Academy team, that composure just doesn't seem to be there. They aren't able to convert on those opening picks into successful rounds later on, and just again exposing themselves and taking fights in awkward positions that lend to being in a 1v1 situation. And it doesn't seem like on Chalet, Neskin has any intention of losing another 1v1 after losing it as the opening pick 2 rounds ago. He's on a rampage, absolutely dominoing everyone on the Vivo Keydstars Academy side. I don't think if you're the Academy team here, you should be playing for some 1v1s against a guy on a heater this strong. Going back to bar and gaming, try and at least get 1 in the first half for VKS Academy. I did say that Netshoes Miners had a 5-1 half in the defense yesterday on Chalet against E1. It was not the case for the VKS Academy against Black Dragons. It was a 3-3 half. So the attack did look strong, but the defense not as strong. I think for Netshoes Miners right now, they feel well in control. 2 rounds away from setting a date with Los tomorrow in the finals, and Mitrix immediately taking damage.
Yeah, again, it's just every little thing seems to be going Miners' way right now. Just a few stray bullets through a window. Mitrix, he'll get damaged just a hair, and we'll have to be a little more cautious with how he takes these further engagements in this round. Shouldn't change too much, though. He's got a bead on exactly where these attackers are approaching from. That's the beauty of the Solus. So as they work their way on up, they'll be able to relay that information to the team, to what's going on the other side, and maybe even get a kill himself. There it is on the scoreboard here, shutting down Mighty. So that's a great place to be. Neskin lit up, forced to fall back, and he is in a load of trouble as well. Good start for Keydstars right now as they finally managed to quell the storm that Miners were sending their way, and at the very least, slowed them down temporarily.
You can see as well for Miners, the reaction to this is hit the bomb site. Everyone amassing outside of the game's double window, and Besetto jumping into Mudroom. Levy coming up from underneath, coming up from the bottom of blue stairs now as well. Arthur with the potential to collect 3, but there goes Neskin. He gets 1. Arthur on the swing gets 2, though. Levy and Neskin both fall, being shot in the back, and the super shorty for 3. Arthur dominating on top of those blue stairs as just 1 hurl misplaced for the side of Netshoes Miners. The spray comes out. Arthur won't collect 4, but Gudo will get on the board. And there it is. It's the Vivo Keydstars Academy first round on Chalet. They just need a 5-1 half of their own to force overtime.
A little chuckle from me there as we saw STK. It was very funny, the little image of him sitting on that diffuser trying to get it planted when everyone was dead and dying around him, alone in the middle of the site with like 4 defenders above. A valiant effort in the end, but at the end of the day, that one, for the first time, was a Keydstars round through and through. It started with that information that we called out from Mitrix, using that Solus scanner, getting that opening kill. And Miners, they tried to keep up the pace and ride that momentum that they had been carrying in between each of these rounds. But finally, Keydstars managed to stop it, shut that momentum down, and send Miners packing. for the first time. Still a 5-1 attacking half, however, means that Keydstars have quite a hill to climb as they work their way back on Chalet. They're going to need 4 rounds just to tie us up, and Miners, they're going to have the threat of series point if they just get a single round further on this map. They've got a lot of cushion. They can mess around with pretty much any bomb site they'd like to try out, and they can play, as we're seeing, as active as they'd like. You see someone like Midi who's going to be doing that down below, but you also see most of these defenders still comfortable staying mobile and setting up their power positions that they'd like to maintain.
God bless you, SDK, for shooting the jukebox. That doesn't always happen, and we have to survive with the music through the depths of the rounds, but at least the jukebox gets taken care of. And like you said, I think for Netshoes Miners, they have a lot of opportunities to make a mistake and learn from it. I guess if that's the nicest way we can put it, which essentially means they might get a little active in the early portions of the rounds and just try and close this thing out with a bang. They have the opportunity to do so. It doesn't look like we've seen much of that, though, through the first minute. Basetta was peeking outside of the piano window for a spawn peek, but nobody showed up to engage, so at the very least, everyone moves on. It's a 5v5 STK, though, doing some damage to a wooden barricade, but instead it's Hash. Collapses from the bottom of the blue stairs. There goes the Azami early, and a very good start here for the Vivo Keydstars Academy. Starting on their attacking half, like we said, they need at least a dominant attacking half, whichever scoreline that takes shape in, be able to prolong this series, as it's on a knife's edge in terms of Netshoes Miners being able to collect this thing with 2 maps and send themselves to the grand finals tomorrow.
Midi should have a read on Hash here on the other side. Nope, doesn't matter. Focused too much on the drone. Did not know that the Finka was up and in his face. Keydstars furthering that advantage. Miners only 3 defenders left to defend this site up top. Neskin, one of them, of course, with 13 kills right now. A force for Keydstars to reckon with, but still sitting pretty. He'll have a couple of nades to work in from below. Neskin chooses to take that gunfight heads up and ends up winning it. Got one more player out the window. That's Flastry to worry about. This will be another important one to win, but Neskin chooses to maybe get a bit too aggressive for his own good.
Goes Bassetto getting one, but unfortunately traded out immediately, so it leaves Levy in a 1v3 with it all to do here as Arthur's going for the plant, peeking towards the piano window. Flastry's going to bounce back and forth off the angle. He's actually going to vault in on the opposite side of the hallway. And yeah, the flashbangs come pouring out, and Levy with a UMP in a 1v3. Not the most opportune weapon to be using in this scenario, and taking a hailstorm of bullets and a hailstorm of flashbangs. It's the second one will hit him in the post plan alone. 25 seconds ticking away, the swing towards the half wall. Nobody on the side of the VKS Academy revealing themselves as Levy will slowly make his way closer and closer to the diffuser. Lots of shots ringing out from Library. The swing, though, Arthur will collect onto Levy. He exposes themselves to the kill holes on the office wall. The VKS Academy, they stack back-to-back rounds together.
And they start off their attacking side well. It's 1 of 4. Now we said they needed to close this gap. And that's a start. We saw them do it with a good first 2 opening kills, force Miners into an awkward 3v5, and from there, all they had to do was 1, play the trades, and 2, deny any sort of shenanigans or hero plays or, you know, huge dramatic efforts that Miners were likely to throw down in order to get out of the hole they found themselves in. One example was Neskin there, right, who did find a kill fighting with Hash down below, but who was unable to get a successful jump out because Flastry was keeping an eye on that. So things like that, when you get the lead, how to maintain it, right? Those things come with time, and it looks like Keydstars, well, it may not be working for them on the first half now that they've transitioned to the second. Things, at least for their first attack, are off to a good start.
Vase not quite cooperating with Levy's plans of destroying it, and causing a moment of hesitation there. And I think for Netshoes Miners as well, like we said, Didn't actually end up going for too much aggression early round, but we did see it later in the round. Neskin peeking the floor holes and being successful at grabbing the kill on the hash, but also going for that vault out the bathroom window, which did not have the same kind of success rate. I think for NetShoes Miners, like we said, okay, it's one mistake. You've got plenty in the tank to be able to make before this starts to become a problem. For the VKS Academy, you're just trying to take advantage of as many rounds to get back into this game that NetShoes Miners are willing to give you. In a bar and gaming defense, this is an opportunity to kind of isolate the position and go for a straight bomb rush, but no one's doing that as of right now. As the top control with the hatch open, still going to be dangerous. They haven't dissuaded Levy from playing inside of Library. Not enough utility being brought in, no flashbangs, no frag grenades. Everyone's just kind of standing static. For the more than the first 60 seconds of the round, not a lot has been done. There goes the Nitro Cell from Levy as well. So he's allowed to live on. Gudo will grab Levy in a trade with the Claymore, but Basetta will drop him as well. So Gudo drops to 2 and 7 on the Ash as well, and it's a man advantage for NetShoes Miners.
This is exactly where they want to find themselves here with 90 seconds to go. One thing they just have to maintain, their composure. Eskin needs to just stay back. Let Keedstars come to him rather than trying to force the issue too much. So far, NetShoes Miners have realized that, and they've done exactly that. STK, he'll be the first one to go for the swing, and that doesn't work out for him. It's Flastry to end it. So it is now a 3v3. BKF still working their way back in. Arthur pushing his way upstairs, trying to maybe find Neskin, but joke's on him. Neskin has already rotated down below and back around the other side. C4 from Midi misses. Arthur low, but not finished off. So a 3v3 as we enter these final 30 seconds. This is going to be close.
Midi doing battle up through the floorboards while being called out onto the drone. He's just trying to find some safe haven to try and burn the last 30 seconds. Find that inside of supply. The frag grenade comes soaring in as well, but it won't collect onto the target. So Basetto's still persevering as well on the bomb site, and you have to worry about the flank from Neskin. Playing at the base of the snowmobile stairs. The last frag grenade will be used here from Hash, but he gets down in the process and finished off. 2 quick kills onto the bomb site, but it's a 1v2. Neskin, as soon as that plant starts to go down, will be in a 1v1, but Flastry will win it. It's 3 in a row for the Vivo Keedstars Academy.
And this time, they do it from the back foot. They were the ones to bridge the gap and make a mid-round comeback, something that we talked and complimented Miners for up to this point. This time, it was Keedstars to do it, a 3v4, bit of an awkward situation that they quickly remedied upstairs, and then transitioned that into a patient but successful execute. The big problem for the Miners defense was playing as a team. Once they found themselves in that 3v3 situation, they presented 3 separate 1v1 engagements to that Academy roster. I suppose on that site execute, there were 2 players there playing the site itself, but I mean, think back to when Miners had 4 people left. One of them was upstairs completely alone in mezzanine. He got killed, no trade. Neskin had rotated all the way back down, so when he eventually went for the retake, he was all alone. There was no trade available because both of his teammates who had taken gunfights in the site itself had already been finished off. So maybe they could have afforded to play a little bit more unified. Hard to say, right? You know that they were close. You know that it was a round that on paper they probably should have won, but it was a well-orchestrated comeback from Keedstars Academy, no matter how you slice it.
I think now the pressure starts to ramp up a little bit for NetShoes Miners. You've allowed the Vivo Keedstar Academy to win 3 rounds in a row. That's starting to build some momentum. This was a game that was out of reach. This was a series that looked like it was over, other than for the final whistle to be blown. And now all of a sudden, the Vivo Keedstars Academy are within 2 rounds of tying this thing up, and their attacks have not looked as dominant as we saw from the NetShoes Miners. They're still getting the rounds successful either way. Levy going for the peak, top of the snowmobile stairs, out towards the balcony. He's not going to find anyone as the duck behind the boulder works out well for Arthur, and the hard breach successful into the snowmobile garage. So step 1 accomplished for the Vivo Keedstars Academy, and step number 2 is isolating and identifying and locating these roamers. Neskin, who was on a heater for the first half, did get one kill on the defensive side, but has certainly slowed down his rampage. Not on the same torrid pace that we saw STK heading to the top side as well. We could end up seeing a lot of flanks coming out here from the side of Netshoes Miners, try and put us on match point and series point.
All right, if the anchor play, if that more turtle style didn't work, maybe it's the flanks. Maybe it's a bit more of that extension that they're going to rely on. Tough part is, for Mitty, he's already been taken care of. Not going to get a chance to come in the late round. Of Hash and quickly get us back to even. Levy playing close on the breach. Riskier prospect for him. Thankfully, at this moment at least, most of this Keyed Academy pressure is coming from the back. Maybe Arthur will rotate around towards that position, but for now, Keyed Stars are keeping their options open. They're trying to track down Neskin, but not finding much success while doing it. The position of the Valkyrie, it pays off, and now Keyed Stars are sent scrambling.
As the diffuser surrendered inside a snowmobile, as well as Arthur tried to push in and just not knowing the location of Levy playing on top of the garbage bin on a drone hole next to the breach. Udo holding for the swing to come from the Valkyrie, but Levy's not going to lose sight of that diffuser the rest of this round unless he gets picked apart by an AK-12. The push in will not matter as there goes Netshoes Miners cleaning up the round. And there it is, match point and series point. They stopped the run that the Vivo Keyed Stars Academy was on. And they're one round away from the finals against Los tomorrow.
Yeah, one round away, but I think as Keyed Stars have proven, this one's not necessarily over just yet. I mean, 3 rounds in a row, that's a good comeback. They just have to do it again. Same comeback, copy-paste that, 3 more, you send us to OT, and you are not out of this series. You are not out of this LCQ just yet. Of course, that is easier said than done when you look at this Miners team. A much more confident defense in that last round. Once again, heavily spurred on by the man himself, by Neskin, with 17 and 4 right now. Trying to do the math. Just barely, if you add up the kills of all of his teammates, they do surpass him by a hair. But it's close. But it's close. And, well, I suppose I'm not going to say win condition, because I feel like that's not giving enough credit to Miners as a whole and this roster as a whole, but there's no doubt that if you've watched these past few rounds, you can recognize that Keyed Stars are having a tough time dealing with Neskin, and he is just, I mean, they can remove him from play. That's just going to be such a relief that they won't have to worry about that ever-present threat just roaming all over this map.
Yeah, I just had to say something. He got like 1 kill through 3 rounds, and I had to pipe up, and he shut me up pretty quickly. So, Neskin returns to form, and now this library hold once again. We saw this be a problem for the Vivo Keyed Stars Academy on their first time attacking this bomb site. They didn't win the last time they attacked this, but for a minute, and we're almost in the same situation, just no utility coming in to dissuade Levy from playing inside a library, results in the Nitro Cell being launched out the small library window, claiming the life of one of the attackers, and yet again, here we stand. Just about 60 seconds elapsed in the round. There goes the Nitro, and again, without much utility being sacrificed, Levy will vacate the position himself. The Flores drones will move on in to confirm that, and drop the Kiba barricades as well, so Netskin's going to lose some of his cover, some of his utility, and immediately patching it right on back up. So he's still got a friend up here towards the top of Mez as well, in STK, who just allowed Levy to rotate downstairs and evacuate library and make sure that he can be a presence on the blue stairs now. He's done a lap of the map, and midway through the round here, the VKS Academy, with match point and series point against them, slow moving thus far.
I have drones left. Still, well, make it 4. Still some information that Keyed Stars can acquire in this back half of the round, but they will need to make a move soon. They still have to deal with these 3 defenders on this top floor, and they've yet to fully take advantage of these openings. A nade here from Hash, maybe that's good enough. No damage dealt at all. He will get the kill onto Levy, and that's something. Neskin, the pressure really starting to build now. Flastry there goes Midi. Neskin done as well. But oh, here's the problem. They don't know that STK is here. Lying prone and waiting for his moment to strike. He's got plenty of openings. But he's going to finally step up. There's one. There's two. No! Denied from behind. Great coverage from Mitrix, and STK could not do it. Keyed Stars, a very explosive top floor clear, and a nice bit of coverage in the end to send them to yet another round here on Chalet.
Oh, that could have been the play of the year. Just chilling behind the library case, waiting for that perfect moment to strike. He heard the Gemini clone from the Yana, and he knew it was his time to strike. His one gun was forced to be put away, and oh, close one there. And like I said, again, Vivo Keystars Academy, some very slow tempo and not a lot of utility being used in the early portions of the round, but once they eventually do get to converting onto the library execute and rotate their attention downstairs, they're picking up a lot of the kills, and they're able to establish quite a number of crossfires that just make life unlivable topside for the NetShoes Miners defense. Not going to be running back barring games. NetShoes instead will elect to head to Kitchen and Dining to try and close this thing out. Bomb site that we have seen earlier on today in this matchup. I think for the Vivo Keystars Academy, I don't know if it's nerves that they're moving that slowly on the round, or if that's just how they want to play. It seems to be working in the end. It just does not look like the same amount of dominance that we saw displayed from NetShoes Miners on their attacking side. They don't ask how, and they ask how many. Right now it's Vivo Keystars with 4. They need 2 more in a row to force overtime.
They have come a long way. They really have. From 5-0 to 6-4. Gone from a blowout to a completely reasonable outcome if it were to end here. Doesn't feel like it will, though. Not with the way that Keystars Academy have been playing these past few rounds. We will see. Miners, they clearly know, or at least they've clearly got a pretty clear plan in mind on how they want to delay this attack and find these round wins. They're really trying to get in their face with these extensions, with this utility, keep barriers from Neskin. That's just one example. But sometimes, and more recently, this Keyed Academy team has been able to deal with that utility. It may have taken them a while, like you said, Flynn. It may have looked like they are waiting until the last possible moment to do it, but when they choose to strike, they have been landing some pretty good blows.
That's the thing. We're seeing, again, a similar position where you've got a location for the defense, a hard hold spot inside of office that you need to displace members from. Same thing was true of the last round with library and top of mezzanine. Midway through the round, and just about nothing has been accomplished in terms of the VKS Academy, in terms of dissuading any of these members from playing Tide. So you got the Kiba barricades, you still got the reinforced wall in front of you, the frag grenade will not connect onto anyone, SDK peeking out onto the balcony door is going to do some damage to Flastry. Now the breaches start to come out. Another frag grenade being opened up here in SDK between a rock and a hard place. He's going to have to dodge the frag grenade and Flastry's DMR out from the balcony, but he does successfully evade the frag. So now SDK able to move on here and down off Hash. He is the Finka, so he'll immediately revive himself. And now the swing to the doorway once again. Flastry boosted up just momentarily, but has to whip out the pistol in response. Arthur, though, will grab SDK. So there goes the castle. And with such a nuisance, the Nitro Cell will miss. But there goes Levy with the TCSG up to the floorboards.
Back and forth early here, but still even. 4v4. Neskin up top. Oh. What a shot! Oh my! Hatch is gone, and Neskin is still a threat to deal with. Basetto is outside.
What?
Long range shotgun onto Mitrix. Are you kidding me? That's 2 insane kills for Miners. Desperately looking to close this one out here. The 2v4. Flastry and Guto looking for options, trying to get something done, but they are simply out of time and out of options. Neskin, Midi, game over. Miners take it on round 11. They're going to the finals of this LCQ.